Let's start with Paul Cézanne. He was a post-impressionist painter from the late 1800s. He really liked colors. He also liked how the paint looked on canvas and how shapes stood out in nature and kind of slapped you in the face. Now, go back in time into completely different parts of the world, actually any part of the world like Africa or the Americas or those tiny little island countries in the South Pacific. Well, they had artists too, and they made these cool little simple bold works of art like since the beginning of human history. Now, let's go back to Europe and hit up Pablo Picasso and George Braque. They started obsessing over this native art. So simple, so bold. We want to do that. So Picasso and Braque came up with this new way to represent their vision in this bold, simple style. They called it Cubism, and the first form was analytic. And here's how it worked. They drew something, then after a while, they would look at it and they would abstract the shapes and two-dimensional planes out of it. Then they would draw it again, doing the same thing, pulling out more shapes and more planes, and then they would do it again and again and again until they were done. After a while, other painters picked up this style. Pablo and George, they found their new buddy Juan Gris, and they said, hey man, these look like collages. So they took Cubism to the next level. They actually made them collages, and they called this synthetic Cubism. They would bring all sorts of different subject matters and materials into the same work of art. It was crazy. It was like a party at Salvador Dali's house, but that's a completely different story altogether. And after this, Cubism took off like a storm. It started to influence all sorts of other painters and even non-painters like Gertrude Stein with her "A rose is a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose," and it influenced music, and it influenced sculpture and architects and puzzles and video games and food and music and sculpture and politics and architects and puzzles and video